Don. Good evening and welcome to the Committee of Adjustment meeting for Thursday, September the 18th, 2025. It is 6:45 and I'll call this meeting to order. Remind members of any disclosures of pecuniary interest and the general nature thereof. Seeing none. Item 3, adoption of the minutes of the previous meeting. They've been circulated. Has everyone had opportunity to peruse them? If there are no errors or omissions, I will accept a mover and seconder for the following. That the minutes from the committee adjustment meeting held March the 20th, 2025 be approved as presented. Moved by Deputy Mayor Weisler and seconded by Councillor Kilcott. All in favor? Carried. Okay, this evening we're dealing with a minor variance application COA 0725 Weeb at 55861 3rd Street. The purpose of this variance is to grant relief from the zoning bylaw regulations to recognize a deficient lot area for an existing lot and for the conversion of an existing accessory garage building to a single detached dwelling on the subject property located at 55861 3rd Street, South Side, east of Short Street in the village of Vienna. Section 10.3 to permit a lot area of 809.4 square meters, whereas 900 square meters is required for a lot in Stratfordville with sanitary services. And 2, section 10.10 to permit a rear yard depth of 5.26 meters, whereas 7 meters is required. The effect of this variance is to permit an existing accessory building to be converted into a single detached dwelling that is permitted in the village residential zone. At this point, we will entertain the staff presentation, report DS 3825 by Margaret Underhill, the Secretary Treasurer, regarding minor variance COA 0725 Weeb at 55861 3rd Street. Good evening, Martin.
Good evening, Committee Chair and Committee of Adjustment. The report before you is for consideration of a minor variance application for property at 55861 3rd Street, Stratfordville. The agent, Mark Friesen, has submitted a minor variance application on behalf of Christy Weeb, the owner of the property. Purpose of the variance is to grant relief from section 10.3, as already stated, to permit a reduced lot area of 809 square meters, whereas 900 square meters is required in Stratfordville with sanitary services. And also from section 10.10 to permit a rear yard depth of 5.26 meters, whereas 7 meters is required. The effect of the variance is to permit an existing accessory building to be converted into a single detached dwelling that's permitted in the R1 zone. Excuse me. Committee of Adjustment must be satisfied that the application meets the 4 tests of the Planning Act for a minor variance in the zoning bylaw. The planner's memorandum dated September the 10th, 2025 outlines the full analysis of the 4 tests and the variances required for compliance. The owner is planning to convert the 1-story accessory building currently considered to be a garage to a residence, and therefore the building must comply with the zoning regulations for village residential use. The municipal planner and staff concur the application meets the criteria to grant relief from the zoning bylaw section 10.3, allowing for the minimum lot area of 809 square meters, and from section 10.10 to permit a rear yard depth of 5.26 meters. Also to note, there will be a building permit and change of use required should this move forward. So I'll leave it with you, Mr. Chair, for any questions from the committee.
All right, thank you very much for that report, Margaret. Does the committee have any questions? Any concerns? Is there any, is the applicant present? Do they wish to make a presentation? I didn't. There we are. Would you like to make or have a few words on this, or
Yeah.
You're good?
Pretty clear.
Okay.
Unless you have some questions, I can answer.
Well, we'll get there. Public submissions. Just the letter from Bonnie Ball.
One submission that was circulated to the committee from a neighboring property owner from Bonnie Ball.
All right then. One last call then for committee questions and concerns. The agent's here, the report's here. Okay. Does anyone in the public wish to comment on this application? They're pretty easy. Okay. So let's move on with section 9, then the decision of the committee. We have a proposed motion that reads that the Committee of Adjustment Secretary Treasurer's Report DS 3825 regarding the Weeb minor variance be received. And that the Committee of Adjustment considered all written and oral submissions received on this application, the effect of which helped the committee to make an informed decision. And whereas the committee agrees that the proposed variance as presented meets section 45(1) of the Planning Act and is considered minor. Therefore, application COA 0725 submitted by Christy Weeb pursuant to section 45 of the Planning Act for a minor variance is granted to allow relief from the Municipality of Bayham zoning bylaw number Z 456/2003 regulations to permit an existing accessory building to be converted into a single detached dwelling as follows. Section 10.3, to permit a minimum lot area of 809 square meters, whereas 900 square meters is required. And section 10.10, to permit a rear yard depth for a dwelling of 5.26 meters, whereas 7.0 meters is required. Do I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by committee member Froese. Seconded by the member Weisler. All in favor? It's carried. Moves us to the adjournment motion that the Committee of Adjustment meeting for consideration of minor variance application COA 0725 be adjourned at 6:52 p.m. And that in accordance with the regulations of the Planning Act, notices of decision be circulated by the Secretary Treasurer accordingly. Mover and seconder, please. Committee member Chilcott, committee member Froese, all in favor? Carried. We're adjourned. Ready? Okay. Good evening and welcome to the regular session of council. It is Thursday, September the 18th, 2025, 7 p.m. and I will call this meeting to order. I will remind council members of any disclosures of pecuniary interest in the general nature thereof. Seeing none, I don't believe there are any items not listed on the agenda this evening. Brings us to section 4 for announcements. Does anyone have any announcements? Councillor Chilcott.
Thank you. I just wanted to let everyone know that this Saturday, September 20th, the SCC, the group that puts on Watermelon Fest, is holding a dance for $10 a person from 8 until 12 p.m. This is kind of a give back from them based on not being able to have the movie in the park at the Watermelon Fest, and they wanted to do something to bring the adults together. So it is an adult-only event, and they're hoping that everyone can show up.
All right, thank you for that.
And
Any?
one other,
Yep.
the breakfasts at the Masons Hall are back on, starting this Sunday, correct?
8 till 1.
8 to 1.
That's just for John. Okay, any other announcements from members? Fantastic. Moving on with section 5 then, pleased to have Matt Bond join us this evening, Director for Elgin County Planning Services, to talk about Elgin Centralized Planning Services. And I see you brought company with you tonight.
Did. Yes.
For those of you who don't know, I would like to introduce Blaine Parkin, our CAO for the County of Elgin.
And sorry, your worship, and Matt, I just need one moment. Our video is acting up, so I'm just going to try one thing here before we start.
Sure thing.